So let us start by flashing a simple LED. To do this, you will need a breadboard, a 100 ohm to 1 kilo ohm resistor, the exact value doesn't matter, and a few jumper wires. Now refer also to the pinout diagram of the NodeMCU board that I am showing you here. Select the pin that you want to use and note down its GPIO number. So for example, say you wanted to use pin D1, its GPIO number is 5. There is really no way to know what the GPIO number is except to refer to a pinout diagram that I have shown here. This pinout diagram for a particular board is pretty standard. You can just Google it on your own. You can Google for something like NodeMCU ESP8266 pinout diagram, and this will bring up the mapping between the labels on the board and the actual pin number. Note that you really need the actual pin numbers here for programming. The labels that are given, such as D1, D0, D3 on the board itself, are not really relevant. The Python code recognizes these numbers, as I will show you. I'm going to select pin number 5, which is GPIO 5, whose label is D1. And before we write the Python program to flash the LED on and off, you need to create the circuit as shown here. So shown here is the schematic of the NodeMCU. Note that we selected chip D1, which is GPIO 5. The positive terminal of the LED, which is the longer terminal, goes to the GPIO 5 pin, which is D1. The negative terminal is connected to a resistor, and that goes to a terminal labeled ground here, and that should be G and D. So this is a pretty simple circuit. You should be able to assemble it on the breadboard. I'm showing you here how I have done it. It's a pretty straightforward thing to do. Now we will launch or go back to the minicom that we have launched here and write a simple program to turn it on and off, just to make sure and demonstrate that our setup is working. Okay, so the details of this program can be found on micropython.org, but for demonstration purposes, you can follow along and write the code that I'm writing here. So we import something called a pin object from a module called machine. There is no installation for you. The machine module and is already installed on MicroPython. This is one of the most basic and standard modules, so this is just available for you to use. You now instantiate a pin object, and notice I have selecting pin number 5 because I'm selecting GPIO 5, and I'm setting that to be the output pin. Okay, so my pin object, and now from here I can just say pin.value is 1, which will set it to plus 3.3 volts, and you can see that the LED has turned on. To turn it off, I will just set its value to 0, which will bring it to pull it down to ground. So that's really it. And this is the most basic hello world example in this tutorial. Now we can go ahead and use the full power of Python to set the voltages on and off using arbitrary Python logic. So at this point you're free to do anything you want, and you're only limited by what Python can do and what your imagination can do. So let's write a slightly complicated program to blink the LED on and off 10 times with some delay. So for I in range 10, I'm going to just set the value of the pin to high, sleep for some time, sleep for a second, then set the value of the pin to low, and then sleep for another second. And that's it. This should blink the LED 10 times and take a total of 20 seconds because each loop is taking 2 seconds. You can see that the LED is blinking, and it will do so for 10 times. Okay, so this completes our hello world example. Now you can exit out of minicom at this point by pressing escape X and then selecting yes. So this will exit you out of minicom.